Okay, guys, so I just want to show you a very quick rundown of Sales Rabbit. A lot of you guys are starting to use it. I just want to make sure you have some overall understanding of the software. So go ahead and use your email password to log in. Go to Sales Hub, so bottom middle button. And then if you want to start creating areas, so really the advantages of Sales Rabbit are going to be the ability to pin your own leads. So you can easily spend, the first hour of the day or a couple hours one day just to kind of pin up a huge area for yourself. People that already have an alarm system, for example. The way that you create an area is you hit the little hand button, and then you draw a circle. You can only have 3,000 pins in an area. So the circles can't be, absolutely monstrous. If you want to do multiple areas right next to each other so that you can cover a larger area, you can do that. So that you're just kind of overall able to see what's going on. If you're driving around, for example, there's a way that just kind of make it so that's overlapping. Obviously, you can make it a little prettier. And then you would tap on the circle that you drew, and then you'd hit edit. And then I'm logged in as Jaron, so I'd assign it to Jaron, and I'll be able to start seeing the data grid populate on all of the areas that I drew. And then let me just kind of finish saving these. Going all Jaron. Okay, so now we've gotten a pretty decent sized area for ourselves. And what I would be doing, the way that I would be doing this, again, because I focus on takeovers primarily, is I would go to an area that I really want to hit, and then I would turn on this filter. So the top left, you have a filter button, and I'll show you where this comes in handy in a minute. But on the data grid, I wouldn't filter out anything, except I wouldn't filter out age or anything. All that I would want to know is the person is a homeowner. So occupancy there, just click homeowner and then done. And now what it's going to do is anyone that's not a homeowner is not going to show on this, which looks like almost every single person that lives up by the office owns their home. You would know if they don't own their home because there wouldn't be a white, there wouldn't be a white little info grid above their house. So anyway, what this is now going to do is as you tap those names, it's going to tell you, the name of the customer that lives there. This looks like the husband and the wife, their approximate age, whether or not they own the home, but you've already filtered for homeowners. And now I'm just going to show you what I would do if I were pin dropping for myself. So I would start in a particular area, and then I would just start driving around. And I did this, guys, out of the office, and in 20 minutes, I got 30 pins that I dropped. Now, I like to be efficient with my time, so I want to know, there's only really a couple of things I want to know about the person that I'm going to go talk to or that I'm going to be focusing on. I want to know their age, and I want to know if they have a sign, because from 10 to 5, you guys know that I like to knock, and people that aren't retired are not home. And so when I'm pin dropping, I'm going to want to go ahead and click on this person, and then down here where it says convert to lead, I have a little pin with a pink exclamation point that just lets me know this customer is over the age of 60 and they have a sign. I don't care what sign they have. I just care that they have a sign. I can tell anybody that has an alarm system. And so as I'm going through this data grid and as I'm making my rounds, let's say that I see another customer. Well, all of these people happen to be old up here. I'm not sure why, but all these people ages are like pretty old. And again, this would just be, let me go into an area maybe with people that aren't so old, so you can see maybe down here a little bit. You click on this person. Gee whiz, if anybody wants to sell people that are retired, come up by the office. There is a litany of them. Okay, 42 to 45, Trisha Alba. let's say that all she has is an ADT sign and she's under 60. Cool. So I would just hit that. I would convert it to an ADT, which is the blue dollar sign. I put the signs all are dollar signs because we can make money on all of them. This is another one, Monica Leone. Now let's say that this Monica has a, say she's got a Brink sign out in front, and this one doesn't have anything. So we're going to skip to this customer that happens to have a protection 1. And now we drive. Let's say this customer, 62 to 65, and they have any sort of a sign. So I'm just going to click the pink. We'll go to this one, 26 to 29. We're just going to say that this is an AT&T. And I'm going to just kind of make a few of these other 60 pluses. And then I'm going to show you what I would do in the middle of the day. So in the middle of the day, what I would do is I would go up now to this filter. And by the way, when you're done driving an area, I'm going to delete this whole area, right? So I'm just going to delete it, but the pins will still stay. So the data grid just lets you see who's, the data grid, and it takes a lot of data. So it just lets you see a certain amount of homes at once, but you can delete that and still see all the leads that you drew up. And so I would then go to this filter button, and now I'm going to go into the leads button on the top left. I click the leads drop down, and you see how like I could select all or deselect all. So I'm going to deselect all, and then it's noon. I don't want to be driving and wasting my time. So I'm going to go try to drive to the people who have a sign that are older than 60 and likely home. So, for my 3 minutes of driving, I found those names. Then that would be how I would route my day, right? I would just come right in and I would say, okay, this is where I want to go. I'd hit that little arrow button. It's going to pop me into my map, and perfect. 3 minutes from the office. So you guys, that's kind of the overall idea of the utility of Sales Rabbit. So now as you're just normally knocking, it's just telling you exactly who you're talking to. So just click on the lead, and it just tells you, if they're a homeowner, about what they earn. A lot of the earning stuff is going to be somewhat incorrect. You might have to look, to see. There might be a couple of people with a couple of different last names in the home. We've got Thomas Poon here and Rose Poon, easily husband and wife. Let's say that I talk to them, or I didn't talk to them, but I saw a sign. Now that's a lead. So now I'm going to go into the lead and I'm going to make notes. Okay. And I can just say something like not home. Or I could change the disposition. So I could change this to this disposition, like, not home from 2 to 5 right there. And that's going to change it. But I personally would actually leave everyone that's over the age of 60 as someone that is likely to be home during the daytime. But let's say that they're not interested. Okay. You could change that disposition, but actually what I would do is I would come in. So you saw what I did. I clicked on the lead, then on the pencil by the person, and then I would just delete it. Because I don't really care what their disposition was. If they didn't sell it, that's not what I'm looking for. These are just random people that we're trying to talk to. And if they weren't interested, maybe you would want to know who's not interested so that you're not going back to those same signs. So that's kind of up to you how you would use your dispositions down here, but you have a whole lot of them. So, I did most of the main companies, ADT, Brinks, GHS, P1, Vivid, AT&T, if they're older. And, if we have a callback, if you have a callback, you can actually make a note. Come back at 6:30. Wife will be home, or husband, whatever. And then you can schedule an appointment for yourself. And that is done, I believe, when you're editing. Yeah, you just hit the edit button, and then appointment callback, date and time. I said 6:30. and that's today. So I'm just going to change that to 6:30. And, you know, there we are. I've got a call back at 6:30. And this will link with your calendar. So this can actually link with your Google Calendar. And then you can go ahead and just save that. So anyway, guys, play around with it. There's a lot of things that this can do. But the main ones that you're going to want to focus on is drawing your area, you know, pin dropping if you're focusing on takeovers. If you're wanting to focus on a different type of customer, you can use the data grid to really drill down, you know, the age. You can scroll that whatever you want, household income, you know, credit score, but I don't know how accurate all that stuff is, household income, credit score, all that, but it does allow you to mess with it, length of residence, all that stuff. For the case of pin dropping, which I think most of you are going to use this for, again, I would just do it where I drove around in the morning, you know, for 2 hours, I collected maybe 120 leads of some sort in an area that I want to hit. And then I would just start routing to each one of those homes and marking a disposition, whether I talked to those people or not, and what the result was. And I bet you $10, you know, that if you do that, you're going to probably get a couple of sales every day. So anyway, yep, there you go.